I said,
love
once
hip-hop.
again, follow me on Instagram, Friday Ricky Dread. After we put that list together, and I'll emphasize we once again, after we put that list together, I posted it up on the Instagram page, as usual, and wanted to see what the results would be as far as with the comment gang. I'll start by saying I did forget to put one name on the list, and that was just human error. Okay, but one name that should have been on this list, and this list being the top 15 underground Toronto rappers for 2023. One name that could have been on this list is Dr. Bushman. Okay, y'all see the names here: Killy number 15, 3M French, Roadrunner, and a list of names getting into the top 5: Haji Basto, Doovie, top 5, Pressa, and number 1, Casper TNG. If I could redo that list again, if we could redo that list once again, with all due respect, I would replace 3M French with Dr. Bushman. Not to say that 3M French doesn't go hard, but he only had the one video for when he came back. Okay, so, and even though that video is going crazy right now, he was dealing with a lot of legal issues for a good part of 2023. And in the latter part of 2023, he came back and, showed that, I'm back. But Dr. Bushman was definitely throughout the whole of 2023 putting out a lot of heat, a lot of dope music videos. He had the collabo project with YG and BFR Bundog, right? Expendables. So he had a great 2023. So if I could recorrect the list, I would put in Dr. Bushman. Okay? But as far as backlash, it wasn't so bad. Wasn't so bad. All right? Comments weren't Keep Sixers like, here we go again. Supreme Swiss, salute to Supreme Swiss. Here, Boondog, he said, all my ops are motionless. Oh, one thing that came out of this list and an argument that people were having. Arlene Jane says, where are the women at? Hawaii Mighty. Okay, let's address two things first. Let's do the women part first. Yes, it would be nice if there was more women on this list, but I don't think that the women really shine so crazy in Toronto this year. It's nice to say it. It sounds good just because women are killing it in the rap game. The Ice Spices of the world and the Sexy Red and all these different people, they're doing their thing. And there's definitely a lot of talented Toronto female artists out here. But ones that are doing mad numbers in 2023, Sad Boy could have been on there. But then y'all going to tell me Sad Boy ain't no rapper. So, there are definitely candidates, but as far as ones who have a lot of motion, if we were doing a talent list, then definitely there could be some women who are near the top of the list. I think that A.W.O.L, in my opinion, is one of the most talented Toronto rappers, period. Okay? But she doesn't have the same kind of numbers as everybody who's on this list. Even everybody's Instagram numbers are higher than most of the people who are more quote unquote what people have as their favorites. Right? As far as with the Crook, people are saying, the Crook's gonna make a diss track against me, I don't think he was mad. Okay? He had a great 2022 starting into 2023, but he had his share of legal issues he had to deal with as well. So he wasn't able to be as active. I'm not talking about an all-time list. If you guys look at the top of this list right here, it says top 15 underground Toronto rappers for 2023. Okay, so within that 12 months, what were the man them doing? What were the ladies doing? That's all it is. It's nothing serious, though. right? And to be honest, I'm really happy with the results. A lot of people were happy with the list. Some people were like, how you forget Northside Benji? I didn't forget Northside Benji. He dropped an album back in 2022. 2023, he was back to doing what he usually does, staying silent. He makes great music, but he comes in and does his thing when he wants to, and then he's out of there. G-Man says Sam G should be on there. If we're talking about an all-time list, then sure, we can debate it. But when we're talking about a list for 2023, did Sam G drop a music video this year? Or last year, I mean? Right? Like, what was the Spotify numbers like? What kind of motion was he creating out there? Like, was he getting talked about on blogs, or was he doing something of notoriety as far as like touring, different things like that? These are all the factors that I put in here. You know what I'm saying? It's not about my favorites. I have my favorites, and I did that list already. The Crook was on it. But one argument that came out of this was the Pressa argument. Smiley included, but more Pressa people are on this time. Pressa's not underground. That's all I kept on hearing over and over. But wait a minute. Pressa's not underground, right? Salute to Sean Myrie from Down to Earth podcast. He was saying right here in the comments. Wait, where is it? Right here. Pressa should not be on this list. He ain't underground anymore. Let me ask you guys in the comments, okay? Comment gang super strong. Yo, G-Man, you don't have to retract the comment, fam. It was a great point. Something for me to talk about. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, brother. Is Pressa, and I'll put in all caps, still underground? Because, and we're not talking about for Toronto. I'm just talking about in the whole grand scheme of things. Right? Like, there's a lot of artists who are your favorite American rappers who are doing K-Flock, let's say. K-Flock is underground. Okay? It may not seem like that because he signed to a label, but he underground. Okay? When I talk about underground, I'm not talking about a money amount. I'm not talking about whether you're signed to a label. Right? Because by those standards, then people can say, Hawaii Mighty's not underground. You know, people try to use the argument with Smiley, say Smiley's not underground, but A.R. Paisley signed to Warner. So does that mean he's not underground either? If we're talking about it from a label aspect. Now, if we're talking about it from a money aspect, there's a lot of people who've made over $1 million who are still not household names. Okay? Dare I say that Pressa is not a household name even completely across Canada yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, he's been on Breakfast Club. He's had 2 Vlad TV interviews at this point. He's been on No Jumper multiple times now. But that also can be said about Blueface. Is Blueface underground or is he mainstream? Because when I think mainstream, I'm thinking more like Cardi B, Drake, Snoop Dogg. You understand what I'm saying? Like names that you could just use their name and then put it in a commercial, put them on the Super Bowl stage. It's like really mainstream. The Migos. Right? Offset by proxy because he's from the Migos. But if Offset wasn't from the Migos and he was starting all over without the Migos fame, he'd be underground right now. Lil Baby to me is still, he's on the tip of getting pause. He's just getting out of the underground. If you want to say Lil Baby. Lil Durk, sure, we can say maybe Lil Durk is mainstream. But who's the Lil Reese? That's the underground nigga. Rowdy Rebel. Right? If we could take it to New York. Rowdy Rebel. Underground. Rowdy Rebel's not a household name. You guys understand where I'm talking about when I'm saying underground or mainstream? Like, who could I say as a mainstream name? Taylor Swift is friggin' mainstream. Nicki Minaj. Ice Spice is now mainstream. But in 2022, you can consider her underground. Kodak Black. Peace, love. Yes, Kodak Black. 2017, 2018, underground. 2021 and on, mainstream. Like the kind of names that you can use them on TMZ and it'll make some people go and click on that thumbnail. Oh yeah? So-and-so got arrested. They're famous. They're mainstream. Click. Okay? It's synonymous with everywhere. That's why when I make my list and I put Drake and Tory Lanez and whoever else on that list, I'm talking about the whole scene at this point. So Drake got to go on it. But when I'm talking about the underground, obviously Drake ain't underground. Tory Lanez ain't underground. Road to Success. DJ Academics, mainstream. Friday Ricky Dread, underground. Yes. And it's not a slight. It's just, it is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? When it comes to the content game, Vlad TV, mainstream. Friday Ricky Dread, underground. It is what it is. Niggas think that when I put a nigga like Pressa on the top 15 underground rappers list, means that, like, does it mean that his chains got smaller and, you know, money started dwindling out of his bank account and all of a sudden he's like beneath? No. He's at the top of the underground. He's not at the bottom of the underground. I'll tell you what, if I was anybody who wanted to be pissed, and don't be pissed at me, but if I wanted to be pissed at a place on my list, it'd be somebody like Killy. Because Killy has had millions of views on this stuff. He came out independently, and as an independent, he was popping up on No Jumper. He was going on tour. He beefed with Lil Xan. Still underground, my niggas. I'm sorry. Sorry. And then he got signed to Sony. Still underground, my nigga. Sorry. Until he has a top 40 hit that keeps on playing so much and then come back with another one. Like Khaled. Khaled's mainstream. He's in Weight Watchers commercials. You understand what I'm saying? Entertainment says Kevin Hart mainstream. White Yardie underground. I shouldn't even put the extra underground on it because I'm making it sound bad. It's not bad to be underground. There's a lot of rich niggas in the underground. There's a lot of rich people who would rather be underground because, you know, they're able to walk around more comfortably. TMZ's not running around behind them. Don't get me wrong. Press is the top of the underground. He had a high-profile relationship with Coi Leray, who she's a B-list celebrity, if you want to take away from underground. Okay, but for her music, she's underground. Ain't nobody jacking Coi Leray like that and listening to her on a, you know. There's nobody in Middletown, white America, if you just throw Coyle Ray's name over at a Tupperware party, they're going to be like, oh, I know who that is. Maybe the hip mom's going to know who that is. But the rest of them white ladies ain't going to know who the hell you talking about. They'd be like, what the hell's a Coyle Ray? You understand where my thought process is coming from when it comes to underground and mainstream? There's levels to this shit. Carmen Gangs Krong. Peace Love says, Donald Trump mainstream, Justin Trudeau underground. But they both on the list. A different kind of list. You know what I'm talking about. Holy. Where's my sound effects? Oh, Trump said.
Wrong. Wrong.
Right? So I just wanted to clear that up quick, fast, just to let the people know, like, I'm not trying to put anybody in a box, right? I feel that my list, and a lot of people felt my list was pretty solid, okay? Salute to me. Hold on, let me give myself a round of applause. Round of applause. Give me some Barry Horowitz love right there, you know what I'm saying? Once again, I might be back in another few months, maybe 4 months, 6 months at another list. All right? But I just wanted to, get that out of the way.
We love hip hop.